Hello and welcome back to A Few Bits of News. I'm TB Sliver, and in this smaller version of the show, we focus on one thing, which we call A Few Bytes of News. Ubisoft's live event Ubisoft Forward for 2021 started with a bang, well before it was meant to. To start with, a weekish prior, tweets were sent out from the Ubisoft development teams about what not to expect from the event this year. The Division team tweeted out they will not be featured in the event this year, understandable considering they already had their own event accounting Homeland and other projects. Secondly, the team behind the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake stated the game is not ready to be shown yet, although progress had been made, which this comes as a second delay announcement as well, as it was intended for a March 18th release this year, after being pushed back from its original January 21st date for polishing. Considering the first look of the remake looked terrible, I mean it made the original look better, it was that bad. It wouldn't be too surprising it's more polish that's needed to bring the game to a standard. Speeding along to the mere hours before the event, the first false start happened when Nintendo of all places proudly displayed Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope, sequel to Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, on their eShop and released the game page early. Details are still to be known at a later date, but the gameplay seems to be mostly the same as the original. Outside movement is more movement circle based than tile this time, and the team have new weapons and new powers thanks to the Rabid Luma hybrids known as the Sparks. The game is due some point in 2022. The second leak ended up being apparently from YouTube, displaying the Far Cry 6 Season Pass DLC adverts before the start of the event. The featured DLC will have players playing as the villains from previous Far Cry games, Vaz from Far Cry 3, Pagan from 4, and Joseph from 5. Outside the leak during the event, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon's remaster will be part of the pass, which will also unlock Blood Dragon items for use within 6's main campaign. If that wasn't enough, a full 30 minutes before the event, Gibson, the guitar brand, announced via email Rocksmith Plus ahead of the show. 10 years after the original Rocksmith, this Plus version seems to be a completely subscription-based service, but boasts a far bigger library of music, improved tools, and community-driven tutorials. So what didn't get leaked before the event? Well, quite a bit actually. In no set order, from the makers of the semi-successful Steep comes Riders Republic. BMX, snowboarding and paragliding are the featured sports this time, with an expanded focus on team-based PvP in trick battle mode, which can still be played free-for-all style with scoreboards, and mass racing every hour, which links multiple tracks together in a 50-plus rider mad dash to the end. Riders Republic is due out September 2nd this year on Xbox, PlayStation and PC platforms. Just Dance continues on with its 2022 edition due November 4th, with Todrick Hall having an exclusive track. On the Assassin's Creed Valhalla side, its second DLC, Siege of Paris, is due this summer. Discovery Mode, a current main feature of the current version of the series, is due next year, and the team have sort of hinted a second year of content is due for the game, considering it's officially their best-selling game of the series. Speaking of DLC, Watch Dogs Legion is due some in its Bloodline update. This pack features the return of the original game's Aiden Pierce and Wrench from the second game as that arc's title characters, who are also playable. This DLC is due July 6th. Despite the lack of the Division, Tom Clancy games still got a large showing. Rainbow Six Siege celebrates its 6th year by announcing crossplay. PC Stadia and Luna will be crossplay as of 30th June, with PlayStation and Xbox added in 2022. This will also include cross-progression, so you can enjoy the game switching to any platform it's available. Rebranded Rainbow Six Extraction got the lion's share of the showing. Based off a spin-off limited time mode in Siege, the alien presence was not contained to New Mexico as planned and has started to spread across the globe. Players are given a choice of 18 operators, some you'll be familiar with from Siege, in this 1-to-3 PvE co-op experience, using tools and weapons from their new unit React to deal with this alien threat. The twist here is that not all operators will be accessible at once, and some need to be saved from the aliens and extracted to be used, hence the game's title. Conversely, the game does not feature health regen, so careful planning and a slower pace is needed in gameplay. Those that have played GTFO or Tarkov will understand this. So dying in this game consists of the operator being put in stasis and captured by the aliens, locking access to the character till extraction, adding a roguelite element to the game. Extraction is due 16th September this year on Stadia, Luma, PC, PlayStation and Xbox platforms, with cross-save and cross-play from the outset. Finally, on the Rainbow Six front, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is continuing to gain updates with its 20th anniversary of the franchise this year. Details will be known at a later date. Ubisoft's final reveal comes from the Division studio Massive Entertainment in the form of the film franchise Avatar. Titled Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, a game which Massive have been working on for the past 4 years alongside the Division series. This will be a standalone title apart from the upcoming movies. Whereas not much is shown bar a CGI trailer, we know the game is due 2022 on PlayStation, Xbox, Stadia, Luna and PC platforms. And that's it for our recap of the Ubisoft Forward event. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as hit the little bell icon if you'd like to get notified of future videos, as we cover more of the E3 and Summer Games Fest season announcements.